I'm so grateful tonight to be here to hear the beautiful music, the testimonies, the beautiful readings tonight, so well given on mercy. In our lesson this week in Romans, it says, "We know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose." It's such a beautiful and comforting statement. I remember clinging to it during a time when I was walking through very, very troubled waters. Really, I couldn't see my way out, actually. And that verse, that all things are working together for good to them that love God, to them that are called according to his purpose. And at that time, even though perhaps maybe my thinking wasn't as great as it could be, it was a little bit murky, I was doing my best to obey God to the best of my ability, and I was yearning to know him more. I was finding a degree of purpose in following his commands as faithfully as I could. So I clung to that, and even though at that time nothing seemed to be working out, and there didn't seem to be any, even perhaps hope that it would, I knew that it was in the Bible, and it was a promise that all things would work together for good. So everything was working together for good. Even though I couldn't see it, I could trust that promise. And as I sometimes crawled along, things got better, things got brighter, and one by one, all the troubles and what seemed to be impossible conditions and situations began to unravel and to be healed. Mainly, it was my outlook, my viewpoint. I began to see as God sees, to see God's creation, and to give up all this fear and negativity. But he had worked it all together for good. And it wasn't just in my life, it was in the lives of others who were perhaps in this situation with me. It all worked together. There's a saying that God can turn it to gold, and that is the truth. No matter what your circumstances is, I promise you that this is God's promise, and he will work it together for good. As long as you do the very best you can, he will turn it to gold. Just don't give up faith. I thought, boy, I was walking through those waters. It was easy to want to turn back or to sink or to dive in or to give up in some way. But you just keep walking, and it'll work out. Always has, and it always will. I know this to be a fact. It's a law and a principle of God Almighty. I'm so grateful to have learned this in this church. I'm grateful for Mrs. Eddy for giving us the truth that we could live. We can never be discouraged because God is with us every moment of every day. So grateful to be here tonight.